Captain Paul. A new law in Greece, Cyprus also expected to, maybe Italy follows, allows private companies to provide armed security services on ships sailing into high-risk piracy waters.
That's correct.
How the shipping companies front this perspective? There is job for the security companies.
It certainly is a job for security companies. How the shipping owners are responding to phenomena of piracy and armed security guards on board the vessel certainly depend on their approach to the entire problem. However, I think the situation needs to be clarified within the mandatory bodies, where the shipping companies, governments, and the countries which are affected by piracy in the area, countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Yemen, Kenya, wherever the phenomena exist, and then we're going back to coast of Nigeria right now. It's certainly something needs to be done in those matters, because some of those companies, they operating on the verge, on the edge of the legality. It's not because they want to do so, but controlling firearms, controlling the firearms which basically being taken on board the ships within a legal way is rather difficult for some of those companies. And therefore, I think shipping owners should put some pressure on the relevant organizations such as IMO or governments or customs and immigrations who are controlling movement of such goods in order to easy on the process of basically getting those armed security companies on board the ship, because basically phenomena is created to fill the vacuum and void which the armed forces of the different country or NATO forces cannot provide sufficient coverage to protect the merchant vessels from the piracy in this water. Therefore, the allowance was made. However, there's no applicable regulations and rules enforcing or regulating to enable the security company to provide such services with easy of getting on board and off the ships within the legalities of law within those countries where the phenomena exists.
It's true that the insurance companies looking for ask for the shipping companies contracts on security services.
That's correct. That's correct, because as you probably heard during the conference here, the premiums on insurance, there's demand on increasing the premiums for both value of commodities in order to allow the ships to go through those piracy affected water with applicable insurance. Therefore, premiums are very high if the company does not provide security guards, armed security guards on board the ships.
And your clients in general, clients for the security companies,
that's right.
Especially for your company.
Yes.
How is the market? There is demand.
Well, there is demand. However, there's large numbers of companies.
Contracts?
There are contracts, but you see, some of the shipping companies, they dealing in order to provide armed security on board the ships, they go through the brokers. The brokers will throw the contract up on a forum to 2-3 different bidders, and they go and negotiate a rate, and in most cases they go in for lowest bid, not necessarily for quality, more for quantity. And you got companies which are offering such services with 3 men on board the deep sea going vessel. It's mission impossible how you can actually maintain the proper security on a large ocean going tanker or iron ore carrier. This is absolutely impossible logistically. The man can only stay awake for so long.
And what about the costs? of these services?
The cost of services, I've been hearing stories here, and those are not really stories, but I know that there's some company accepting transit on board the vessel for as low as $1,300 per day. And they sending 3 men instead of 4-man team as is our minimum policy to send minimum 4-man team depending on the type of the vessel.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.